Alright, so this deck right here tries to bring out Beckoned Skull Archfiend. And that's basically it. And the rest of the deck, it brings them out very easily. To the point where it's kind of better if I had just gone for Trishula instead most of the time, or just Link monsters. Because sadly, the new Summon Skull support cards, or whatever they're supposed to be called, aren't very good. Okay, so final thoughts on this deck. It worked out good. Pretty much a lot of the duels I've been doing where I use the Monster Mash Rescue Cat engine have been working out very well because this engine seems to work very well for gimmick decks because it's a toolbox that takes up half the deck, but the toolbox itself doesn't allow you to use spell or trap cards because of Sekka's Light. And the lack of spell or trap cards frees up a lot of space. So, for this deck, I needed to go into a level 6 Synchro monster. And it doesn't really require any kind of special types for the tuners, it's just generic materials. So, Rescue Cat fulfills that very easily, to the point where I wanted a way to bring out Skull Archfiend without also just having him clog up my extra deck zone. So I wanted to go into a Link monster first. And that was like the whole point of what I was trying to do with this deck, was go into a Link monster first and foremost, and then bring out Skull Archfiend because he's so easy to bring out. Because in the past, like a month or two, or a couple months ago now maybe, I made decks for the other Summon Skull cards that came out. And the big problem I had with the Fusion one was it kept taking up my extra deck zone and I couldn't do anything else and the card was bad. Steam Cloak usually gets brought out with Needle Fiber, so there's not really a reason to run more than one of them, especially since it does most of its shenanigans from the graveyard. O-Line, same reason, usually just brought out with Needle Fiber. These two are kind of like garnets, you don't actually want to draw them, so you only run one of them so that they stay in the deck. Thousand Blades is also a garnet. You only want to bring it out with MX Saber Invoker, which I did pretty much in every duel. That was a really good combo. The combo, it's not really a good combo. It was just a combo I was trying out. Where, since I could go into MX Saber Invoker real easily, I thought I could also just bring out Thousand Blades, and then I would have Thousand Blades in the graveyard as like a buffer. In case my field got cleared out, I'd have a way to special summon a monster to kind of protect myself a little bit, and also just have one to bring out so I can go into some Link plays on my next turn, just use it after the last attack. I just thought having Thousand Blades in the graveyard would be good, especially since I can go into it so easily, and then I can also just use Thousand Blades when it's brought with MX Saber Invoker to just go into another Link monster. I didn't actually think of Isolode until way later on because I thought MX Saber Invoker was a Beast Warrior, so I didn't even think to use Isolode, or I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong, until I put a lot of additions in at the very end, but yeah, this is a very late addition. When I went back, it's like, wait, is it actually a warrior? And I looked at it and I found out it was a warrior, and I thought, God, this whole time I could have been using Isolode with the combo I was using, because I was just going into Mrs. Radiant instead, which was fine, but an Isolate play is a lot better, because then I could have added this card to my hand, which I didn't add until later on, or at least a junk forward, but or even this card. It's whatever. The main focus of the deck was Rescue Cat anyway. These are all just kind of side things. Chupacabra, also a garnet. How many garnets am I running in this deck? That's not good. You shouldn't be running so many garnets. Is it just these three? No. It was also Thousand Blades. Yeah, I was running 4 garnets in this deck. Chupacabra was a late addition, because I didn't really use Jackalope very much. Until there was one duel where I used it and it got chosen and discarded. And I was like, its discard effect is a special summon a danger card from your deck. And I was like, well, I guess I could play Chupacabra, because I can use level 4s to go into Summon Skull as well. Because I play O-Lion. And O-Lion's a level 2 tuner who I can bring out very easily. And I think there was also something else. I don't know. I think it was just O-Line that allowed me to go into the Summon Skull card. So I could use level 4s. I think I used Thousand Blades to go into Archfiend once. And I could even use them to go into Trishula, which I think I did once. So level 4s are useful, but the deck is entirely reliant around level 3s. But because of O-Lion, I can use level 4s as well. And basically, if I had a level 4 monster out, it did not hinder me once. It was only ever a positive to have either of these cards out, so it worked out. Summon Skull is also Garnet. Now that you think about it, this deck has 5 Garnets in it. Because he's only in here because Skull Archfiend floats into it if he's destroyed. And he floats into it from hand, deck, or graveyard, so I only need 1. So, lots of Garnets, I guess. Lots of ways to special summon monsters from the hand. And then the whole thing revolves around Rescue Cat and Light of Sekai, and then tons of hand traps. Everything else is a hand trap. So, 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Ghost Ogres, 3 Effect Dealers, and 2 of these guys, because he was actually pretty good. It just allows you... It's a really good protect your boss monster kind of card, because it negates any targeted effect. So, it can stop a Unicorn from banishing it, or a Castel. And I can't remember if I actually use it in any of the videos. I did use it a couple of times, but I can't remember if they actually appeared in the video, even though I just recorded the replays. Whatever. Anyways, the deck worked, and I added a whole bunch of really good late additions to it. So if I were to make it better, I'd probably find a way to run 3 of these cards, maybe take out some of the Garnets. And also don't use Skull Archfiend because he's not very good. But I mean, that's the whole point of this deck. The deck's a lot better without it, which is kind of a shame. But whatever.